To all female humans on planet Earth, I beg you to tell 3 of your friends to watch this video. If that happens, there is a chance that we can rescue this planet in time. Save it from the men who are obviously trying to destroy it by using petroleum and toxic chemicals for the things we buy instead of nature. My name is Daniel Matthew Quinn. When the truth comes out about Notre Dame, you'll weep for me. And I am now 20-something years later spending $5,000 of my own embarrassingly meager dollars for 100 pounds of stevia, so 50 people can start drinking sweet water all day long and have their bodies melt down to perfect, because that's what stevia does and why the rich have suppressed it forever. Stevia is a sweet that acts like the cure for the human body. You put it in things, make them sweet, ingest them into your body, and things like my uncle's body melting away 6 breast tumors and 62 pounds in just 4 short months happen. And see, the tragedy of this is some of you will think this is some kind of scam and won't experience that same miracle meltdown that my uncle did, and perhaps won't survive that next attack, be it in the heart or somewhere else. Ladies, my plan is to start a Health Pay It Forward that will save planet Earth. Already, Ross the Grizz Clifton has shed 5 pounds in 3 days, and I'm looking for 49 more people willing to ingest 2 pounds of sweet manna from heaven in the next 2 to 4 months, so their miracle meltdowns will cause a stampede for stevia the likes this world has never seen. Now, if I could script the future, this is how it would go. All women should wake up, realize that if their cavemen brethren had never had to hide deep in caves in order to draw pictures of spaceships and pyramids and warning on the walls, asshole men would never have been in charge. Look, the lions. Women run things, one lucky badass guy gets all the pussy, and the rest are like the lames that are texting and calling me wanting to fight. Now, I'm the guy that's saying that stevia is the cure. It also magically blends water to a clean, healthy, and potentially free gasoline that can now take us beyond the moon and back if the disease that humanity has become were ever allowed to leave this planet and spread. Ladies and all cool guys, the asshole rich of today that let so much suffering occur around the world, especially in this country, where the homeless are growing to numbers almost as great as in the Great Depression. Well, it was their very same families in the past that were reviled, that we revile and detest today. Paris, so beautiful that a city was named after him, and the same cretin who let his penis lead to the death and destruction of his entire city and thousands of people. Why is it that Western medicine tortures both mother and baby during birth, making you lie flat when they could easily use the gravity that God gave them, okay? It's almost as if women had been punished from the very beginning. Eve being blamed and punished for getting smart. Had she been given the true information, she might have pulled a Lorena Bobbitt in order to prevent humanity from becoming the deadly virus it is to planet Earth. How long is it going to take for this miracle to go global? People like sweets. They don't want to be fat. Stevia makes everybody it touches perfect. And here you are right now listening to me say that the stevia I get from Starbucks Botanicals, because that's the cheapest that I found it for, that same stevia makes it so I look lean and in shape, even though I've taken the last 2 weeks completely off due to an injury in training, and that if all the goods you buy had stevia in them, your bodies would start to melt your fat off to perfect. And since we all know how evil and corrupt the rich are, if you ever want things to get better, you'd be wise to do the following. Go to starwest.botanicals.com, then choose bulk herbs and spices, then powdered herbal extracts, and pounds of the sweet white cure are $50. I'm buying 100 pounds. Would love to give it to maybe groups of 10 in 4 separate churches, equaling 40, leaving 8 left over, because Ross Clifton is number 1, and Aaron at 24-Hour Fitness will be number 2, okay, when I can get it to them. And I'm hoping that the people who've already experienced the miracle of lots of stevia, like Roger Van Zant, PJ Lavalier, etc., can perhaps fund at least one person a pound. I know there are people with money who are good and who'd love to get involved with an endeavor that will save so much life on planet Earth. Will have to make it a privilege and not a right to have a child. All known religious artifacts, save for the ones that predate Jesus and say women were in charge of the human herd, the ones that are written about Jesus, were written by men. Rich, evil, corrupt, and murderous men. And if the Bible isn't a slave book for women to men, then what is it? Too bad we might never have access to everything inside the Vatican, because the then proof that Jesus was saying money is evil would finally see the light of day. Now, to all cool people who know it is a sin for there to be Paris Hiltons and other versions of her when people are literally starving to death and going without in this country that has so much, no, it shouldn't be up to you to feed that person asking for $1. The government should provide for that, but our government is corrupt through and through, will never do what's right, and in the best interest of humanity every time, okay, which is why I asked you to consider this plan. In keeping with the vision I had 20 years ago at Notre Dame, where I'd one day be richer than God because I discovered cold fission, and with all that money I'd take over corporate America from within, Stevia blends out hidden toxins from water, bursting water into a natural gas called split H2O, which then cycles back into pure H2O beneath a layer of toxic floating soap. Pour out the pure H2O, drink it, and things like Cal Worsham's 22-pound meltdown in 30 days happen, taking him from 40-something flabby to high school lean, okay? Meaning when Stevia and what it does for water get famous, I can start selling pure H2O for $1 a gallon, and because it makes bodies perfect, it will soon become the most popular and sought-after drink on planet Earth. Because pure H2O goes perfect bodies, and because water is toxic, what will Coke and Pepsi do? Continue to use toxic water? Pay me because LegalZoom.com just told me they'd filed my provisional patent for cold fission? Or will I eventually put them out of business using the following formula? Copying the business practices of Coke, Pepsi, Walmart, etc., but now paying down 90-something% of profit and sharing with all the employees. I envision cold fission replacing Walmart, and instead of building something new for cold fission instead repainting over Walmart and now paying down enough profit so everyone in the link of the company chain can outright own their own home. And wake the fuck up if you're going to sleep, because I'd like this to get famous in time so the relationship I'm in right now can make it to the next level. Stevie has made it so a 28-year-old beauty who's nice loves my body. And ladies, even though you probably hate her at first just because looking at her she's so fine, if you knew her you'd like her, okay? And when she first met me, she went bite for bite with me, and because she wasn't doing close to the Stevie that I was doing, she put on a little weight while I stayed the same. Now listen, it's as simple as this. Drinking sweet with stevia water all day long will melt fat off your bodies in record speed, okay? Making you healthy and perfect. The more people who listen to this and get stevia in their bodies, the faster the phenomenon of this miracle can spread. Sherry Celio, once Quinn, instead of trying to get me in more trouble, why don't you do 2 pounds of stevia, melt down to perfect, and help a cause that will fulfill that dream you had about our oldest son? And the tragedy is he's embarrassed to have me even say his name, when in fact stevia will lead to a healing that will be biblical in proportion. If he was going to lead a revolution, Sherry, think a financial one from the inside out might not be optimum. If stevia melts bodies down, but pure H2O makes them perfect, think it might not sell for 20 or 30 million gallons a day in California alone? With profit, he could start companies to compete with all the slave drivers, paying down 98% of profit instead of keeping it, providing everyone with a home of their own, ending slavery forever on planet Earth. And speaking of slavery, this is to all minorities in this country, especially female minorities and homosexuals. Stevia is a sweet cure, and the sooner that becomes famous, the sooner it will generate the kind of money it will take to see my vision through. One day I'll have enough money to challenge David Orrick to a duel to the death on television, my Patriot continuous airflow unit, against his dust-blowing gas chamber called a vacuum. As soon as the scientist witnesses stevia burst water apart, doubling in size and changing color into white soup, an intelligent one will investigate further. And to all who think you're scientific-minded, know I have made water heavier by removing toxic floating soap. I added stevia to a large batch of water, took out a control bottle for sample starting weight, blended out all the soap, and now a new identical 500 milliliter bottle weighed 3.5 grams heavier than at start. That's a lot. Stevia splits water apart with oxygen and hydrogen falling down first because they're heavier, with lighter man-made toxins floating on top for easy removal. Marty Lippincott, let me send you 2 pounds of stevia, okay? John McDermott, stevia's gonna crash hospitals, brother. Mr. Hospital Attorney Rich Guy, okay? I messed up on that one. You've got the money to fund a bunch of people melting down. Vic Ireland, you could melt down, helping to start the stevia stampede and forever silencing me about how creepy it was at Notre Dame. What with Brother Tom hounding me out of the showers, never wanted to leave my room until I got dressed, and quote-unquote, or laugh out loud, whatever. In closing, Ted Williams, Gladiator Challenge, I've got 2 pounds of your name on it. Look at the tape of Cal's fight with Bo Cantrell, realize his lean face was all my idea, and as soon as that idea starts to spread, I'm going to be rich. Dave Huckaba, stop spreading lies about me. I never once said anything disrespectful about you or your family. Provide proof or retract what you said, and do you have the guts to do a Randy and Chuck with me and go toe-to-toe, dude? That's what I'm wondering. And for the rest of America, you know what? How much time do we have? Oh, 9:52? Well, you know what, Dave? Do you have what it takes to trade punches with me, man? Yes or no? Let it be known.